Okay, hey, welcome everybody to the second episode of Hangar 18, where a bunch of people, and by that I mean three, get together and talk some shit about some heavy metal. And we like to start off the show with some heavy metal news. And, I actually forgot to look up any heavy metal news, but the one little tidbit that I know, like right off the top of my head, is that. Oh, by the way, I'm your host, Dan, or Thundercracker, whichever you want to call me. And the tip that I know is that today is the 20th anniversary of the release of the Great Southern Trendkill, which is probably, it's not the greatest Pantera album, but it's a pretty good, in my opinion, Pantera album. It's not by any stretch of the imagination Cowboys or Vulgar.
Oh, God.
No, yeah, but it's in my opinion, it's better than Reinventing the Steel. So I just want to let everybody know, hey, today's 20th anniversary of that. So if you want to go out and listen to like Floods or Great Southern Trendkill or Suicide Note Part 1 or Part 2. What is it? Drag the Waters. That's another great song, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you guys want to go out and check that out today would be a good day for it because it's 20th anniversary. So yeah, that's my little bit of heavy metal news that I cheated on because I fucking forgot to look one up. So there you go. All right, so we'll go to your Nova Storm here, and he's one of our co-hosts. And go ahead there with your heavy metal news.
Okay, found out that recently Marty Friedman is putting on some finishing touches to a new solo album. You can expect that to be released sometime in 2017. We don't have a exact date yet. I guess he's still putting. Well, it said he's putting finishing touches on it. So his last solo album, I think, was 2014, called Inferno, and he actually toured the U.S. recently in support of that. It was the first time he's been on tour in the U.S. in years because he moved after he left Megadeth. He moved to Japan, and it's kind of crazy. He's become like this huge, like, TV star in Japan. Did you know that?
I did not know that. And Japan is like notorious for weird shit like that.
Yeah. He's done like some, like, what they call it, Japanese pop or whatever it's called over there. All the weird stuff.
Yeah.
And he's actually been on a lot of TV shows. He's kind of a big celebrity over there now. So it's weird.
All the weird stuff, aka pretty much standard Japanese television programming.
Right.
Cancel.
So I just want to say one more thing. Marty Friedman and Nick Menza, that to me is Megadeth right there. I mean, that was like the glory days in my opinion.
That was the great lineup. Of course, I'm sure most people know Nick Menza recently passed away.
Right.
So yes. we'll never see that lineup again. Yeah.
All right. So here we have some members of Death Clock also in our panel today.
Of course. Hi, I'm William Murderface. You probably know me best as shut ups. That's not going to talk to you. Yes, our metals news. King's Diamond. He's dedicating the 2017 to releasing a new album. Maybe. Yeah, he's basically like trying to do some new material. Essentially, like that's the best part. Hi, I'm Tony. I'm the voice guy. But yes, my heavy metal news is that King Diamond, he said in a recent release that he is dedicating 2017 to making new material, and hopefully we'll see an album come out of that, and I'm super stoked on that.
Yeah. All right then. Okay. So moving right along to our picks of the week, where we picked randomly, and by random I mean at random, so don't fucking get on my back.
That's a D10.
Yeah, exactly. Don't get on my back about the fucking shittiness of the songs, because some of them aren't all that great, to be honest with
you.
God. So anyway, although this week I kind of like threw one in as a bone for us because we suffered last week with whatever the fuck that Piteous Eternius or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
Pickles is still throwing up. It's been a week. He doesn't want to talk to anyone. Yeah, Pickle M's is kind of sad right now.
Yeah, I don't blame you because that was
He
pretty
was
bad.
touched inappropriately.
I will say I didn't find any of these nearly as bad as that one. So.
No, me neither. All right, so our first one that we're going to talk about is from a band called Sabaton, and they're a Swedish band, and I'm really a big fan of Sabaton.
Yeah.
And I got to be a fan of Sabaton a long time ago. A buddy of mine sent me a YouTube link, and he said, "Hey, look, it's heavy metal in World War II. It's fucking you on YouTube." So, because I'm somewhat of a heavy metal buff. I'm somewhat of a heavy metal buff. I'm somewhat of a World War II buff.
Wait, you're a heavy metal buff?
Yeah,
On
I
a
read
heavy
lots of
metal
books about
podcast?
Black Sabbath. All right, so
Well,
anyway,
here it goes.
they were formed in Sweden in 1999. That's the year you got to party like it is that year. And anyway, the song was called "Careless Rex," and it's about Charles the 12th of Sweden. And I thought number one, it had a good drum intro. I thought, but the one thing I didn't like about it, and this is like one of my complaints about a lot of Sabaton songs, is the backing vocals to the main vocalist. It makes it sound like almost like an opera sometimes when they have like this like chorus of vocalists behind them, which I'm not really a big fan of. And Sabaton's something of a power metal band, so they have that like that super, sometimes in my opinion, too high pitched singing. Another thing I had wrote down here is that the solo I thought was kind of half-assed. And just a little bit of a history lesson for you guys. Charles XII was an actual king of Sweden, and he was known as a great warrior and a great diplomat. But he also had his detractors, one of which being Voltaire, who's one of the most brilliant political philosophers of all time, in my opinion. So anyway, I got way off track there, but I'm going to give this one a 5.5. So wasn't really impressed with this one. So what do you think, Nova?
Well,
Here comes the giant robots.
I really liked it, like a lot.
Yeah.
I like this type of stuff actually. It had a big epic sound to it, kind of
I
like
definitely did that, yeah.
epic metal, you know. And I have to admit, I gave it a lower score at first, but the more I listened to it, I'd go back and I found myself going back to listen to it over and over again. And the more I listened to it, the more I liked it. When the song was done, I felt like I was ready to, go charging forward with an army or something.
Yeah, they had that effect.
Yeah. I liked it. Like I said, I like this type of stuff. This is stuff I could get into and really listen to. I give it an 8.5.
8.5. God damn. All right.
Yeah, I really liked it.
All right. The clock of death. Go.
Hell yeah! I love Sabaton because, you see, I like all things war too. You probably are aware of my exquisite collection of firearms and medieval weapons, yes?
Yes, you do kind of also look like Man at Arms.
Yes, I do. Everybody keeps telling me that.
Well, okay. Stop stroking his wiener. Basically, the guitar work, I agree with you. It's substandards. Yeah, totally. So substandards don't even goes there, Toki. Don't goes with what? I'm not doing this bit today. But anyway, to break character here, I like Warhammer 40k. I like listening to Sabaton when I play Warhammer 40k for obvious reasons. Careless Rex is one of those songs I like to play when I'm running my Black Templar army for obvious reasons.
For lazy painters?
Yes, the easy painters. Yes. Get off my ass. But I was a big fan of Sabaton. I mean, they cover World War II. That's something that when I had first heard them, I was blown away. That's something that I'd never heard covered by a band before, and they've stuck with me for the long haul. I recently seen them live at Louder Than Life in Louisville, and they were off the charts. So, I mean, I have to agree with Squeak Scar and Toki here, though, and, I mean, the solo was half-assed, but then again, they were trying to create the grandiose scale that they are known for.
Right. They didn't want it to break it up, right?
Yeah, and I'm going to have to meet in between Nova Storm and you on this in terms of rating, because there are better Sabaton songs out there.
Definitely.
There are a lot of them. So I'm going to have to nail this one with a 7.
Now, see, this was the first Sabaton song I've actually heard.
So really? Get on YouTube.
Yeah, I've never listened to these guys.
You need to listen to Swedish Pagans. You need to listen to The Ballad of Bull. You need to listen to Nuclear Attack. Those are my favorites.
I will definitely look into more of them. I liked the historical context that they used in the song.
Yeah, they have one song where they used a bunch of clips from Band of Brothers on it. It's pretty cool.
Yes.
All right, moving on to our next song. It's from Typo Negative.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
And it's called Wolf Moon. Every time I think of that song, I always interject the word "hey" before Wolf Moon, because he says it about 75,000 times in the song.
Right.
Anyway, Typo Negative was formed in New York in 1989, and as many people obviously know, unfortunately Peter Steele is no longer with us. There's no more Typo Negative, because he basically was that band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is from their October Rust album, which I believe is their sophomore album, right after Blood Kisses.
Yeah.
No, it's actually their third album.
Third album, okay.
Origin of the Feces was their first album.
No, yeah. Okay. All right, I stand corrected.
Which was kind of
like a demo?
Kind of like a demo, because a lot of it was leftover Carnivore material, because Peter was in another band called Carnivore, which was a much more thrashy band.
Much more stompy.
Yeah, and so when they signed, they had some sort of record label thing going on, and when he formed Typo Negative, he had some leftover material from Carnivore that they hadn't used, so that became the early Typo Negative songs, and then they eventually transitioned to the Bloody Kisses sound.
Gotcha. Okay, and the notes I have down here is they have a very eerie synthesizer part in the beginning, which I thought was pretty good. And they kind of continue that a little bit later on. The lyrics are awesome, in my opinion, but they're sometimes unintelligible. Like, sometimes I can't tell what the fuck he's saying. Luckily, when I was watching it.
What do you ams mean?
Yeah, something like that. And I was watching it on one of those lyric videos on YouTube, and there was lyrics on there that I had never knew what the fuck he was saying before. And I've listened to that song probably at least 100 times. So the guitar comes in like a pile driver in the beginning, I think. That first guitar part is amazing, I think. Although my one complaint about it is I'm not a fan of the chanting towards the end. It's like almost like monastic chanting. I didn't really like that. But overall, I mean, I give it an 8 because it's an awesome song by an awesome band. Nova.
Big fan of Typo Negative, and this is a really good album, but this is also it's a good song off of a good album, but it's not the best song off that album.
Bad Ground, is that the best one?
Yeah, absolutely.
No contest.
It's not the song. If someone was saying, "Hey, I've never heard of this band Typo Negative. What do they sound like?" This is not the song I would choose to play for them.
Yeah, no.
Out of curiosity,
very unique.
I would choose "We Hate Everyone."
Yes.
That's a good one. Black Number One is probably a pretty iconic song.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe off Bloody Kisses. This whole album has more of a atmospheric feel to it.
Definitely. Very pagan.
It's very pagan, very kind of every time I play it, it brings me right to fall and October and Halloween. You know.
Guess what? It's October. It's fall and it's Halloween.
That's right. So, but as for the song itself, it's a good song. I like it. I don't have any specific notes for this song other than just to mention some of the lyric things. Though Peter was known for kind of making up words. He was a big word junkie, and so he would take words and kind of combine them to make like a punny meaning thing. So every now and then he'll have a word that's not a real word.
Right. This one had a little bit of a lycanthropy overtones to it, and by a little I mean the entire song.
A lot. Yeah, the whole song. Yeah, I've also heard, and I'm not sure how true it is, but I've heard that it's actually a euphemism for that time of the month for.
Yep. When he talks about tasting you and whatnot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But he has, again, with the writing, he has a lot of double meanings and multiple entendres in his lyrics too, which I think is brilliant. But I gave this an 8.5. Again, it's not my favorite one off the album, but it's a good, solid song.
Awesome. All right. What about you there, Death Clock?
Well, Kevin's that whenever I hear this song, I think of the homeland, and for obvious reasons, yes. Unfortunately, in my homelands in Norway, everything is always covered in snow. We've got wolves too. Yes, lots of wolves.
Shut the fuck up. This song is great. You guys are just homesick or whatever.
But no, I like this song. I like this band. Bad Grounds, though, definitely is the best song on Sunday. Yeah, this is also. I have to agree with Nova Storm here. This isn't the song you introduce typo negative to people, because it was not that kind of sound. But again, solid song. 8.5. I'm right there with Nova.
All right. Okay. Moving on to our next song. It's by a band called Ufrat, and it's called "The Smell of Death." And from their album Global Devastation. Okay, here are the notes that I have about this. I thought that it had a great intro. The drums were pretty good. The vocals were fucking awful. The solo was, in my opinion, kind of cheesy, kind of like a cookie cutter type solo. And overall, very low production quality. It sounded like it was recorded in somebody's garage.
That's the exact same note I have on mine. Low production quality.
Yeah, like the acoustics is the suck.
So, okay, Nova, what did you think of Ufrat, The Smell of Death?
Did you give it a rating?
Oh, sorry, I gave it a 6.0.
Okay. Yeah, again, I just said it. The low production quality is one of my notes as well. It does have some awesome riffs in it.
It's very thrashy.
And there's a lot of change ups in there. The writing, as far as the music goes, I thought was pretty good, because again, the riffs were pretty cool. The singer I was not impressed with, and the overall production quality was poor. I still gave it a 7 just because I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if it's an old song or how old it was, if that had anything to do with the production quality, or
definitely like a demo type thing.
Yeah, so I hate to hold that against a band, because early Black Sabbath doesn't have the greatest production quality in the world either, but it's Black Sabbath,
right?
So, but the singer didn't do anything for me, but the riffs were pretty cool, so it's like there's some potential there. So I gave it a 7.
All right, Death Clock, go ahead.
Onerous Urungus called. He says quit trying to beat him.
Yeah, like these people tries to sounds like Guar, but
a little bit.
But
yeah.
But with like not as good sound qualities, and it's like substandard solo. I like Squaw, but this Sam's is not Guar, so I believe the collective rating here is
It's a 3.
No, let's not do it that hard. We're just gonna say 5.5.
All right.
But in reality, yeah, it was like when I heard this song, the first thing that went through my mind is this person was trying to be Dave. The bassist was trying to be Mike Bishop. They were trying to be Guar. That's what went through my mind when I heard this song.
I kind of thought of that too. So
yeah, like I was just like, I like songs about blowing up the planet. Don't get me wrong, but the way they were attempting to deliver it sounded an awful lot like Guar. And whenever I mean, there are tribute bands, then there are good cover bands, and then there are bands that are just trying to ride on somebody else's shticks, and I don't like that.
All right. So So you're gonna stick with the Death Clock 5.5?
My it's a 6 on my end.
All right, 6. All right. Okay. So moving on to our next band, and it's from Venom. Okay, and they are
Black metal.
They are a new wave of British heavy metal band, right? Formed in 1979 in England, obviously, because they're NWOBHM band. The song is called Nightmare. And the very first thing I thought when I was watching this video was this really, really should not be a music video. Because they do not are very photogenic.
Very, very Spinal Tap.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It was the bonus track on the album Possessed. Well, one of the bonus tracks. There were like 5 of them. Oh yeah, at the very beginning they had this like weird mandolin part where there's a guy playing a mandolin. Like what the fuck was
looks like that old dude that helped us with the troll.
Right, that's true. But the greatest thing was like in the comment section, somebody asked, "Hey, what's the name of that mandolin part in the beginning?" And somebody responded, "Gay." I thought that was pretty amusing. Although I don't typically like to use gay as pejorative, but I thought that was pretty funny. Anyway, the video I thought was like quintessential 80s. I mean, they had the wrist bracers with the spikes. They had the long hair. They had the bandanas wrapped around various parts themselves, and like they had the singer like mugging for the camera. It was just like totally 80s. And they had a chick running around like running from things in the woods. So definitely. Very 80s-esque song, and I'm going to give it a 6.5. Nova?
First of all, Venom as a band are they're pretty legendary amongst the metal community.
Oh yeah, they big influence on thrash. Yeah.
Yeah, big influence, and I have huge respect for that aspect. However, at least this song in particular did not do anything for me. I don't really have any notes because nothing really stood out as far as the music goes. I know the biggest thing that stood out was the actual video itself, which was, like you said, full of cheese. And, the Spinal Tap moments where the singer leans into the camera and then the other 2 guys lean in,
Right, yeah. Like the choreographed guitar kicks.
Right.
Taking selfies before selfies was a thing.
So it just, nothing stood out. It didn't do anything for me at all. Definitely not my cup of tea. I gave it a 6 on this one.
All right. Deathlock?
I like Venoms because they is like one of the forefathers of the grandfather, the forefathers, the father figures, the
Black metal. Okay, that's where it came from. That's like one of those bands that started. Now, of course, there was that movement that, made Pickles, go and want to kill himself. That's branched down from Venom with that shitty band.
But, like, yeah, like, these guys are, like, very is legendaries, and I got to give some respects for that. In reality, though, this isn't the Venom song. this isn't the Venom song you introduce people to Venom to. I have to agree with
kind of a theme we have going on here.
Definitely.
It?
Yeah, like this is one of those songs. This is like track 5 or track 6 in an album.
Well, track 14, but go ahead.
Yeah, but like but it's like one of those songs that you skip to get to a better song. And so. Like I have to agree, it's a 6 across the board.
Hey, 6.
All right. Okay. Next
ironically perfect.
Next up, we have Wall Crawler, Return of the Leather Jacket. I just want to say before anybody says anything, this is not the song you want to introduce people to Wall Crawler. I was just joking, because who the fuck knew who Wall Crawler was anyway? Anyway, Wall Crawler is the band. The song is called Return of the Leather Jacket. It's off their 1997 album Scars and Blisters. I think, first off, I thought it was a great crowd participation song. Okay, it's like Seek and Destroy. It's like one of those songs like the crowd can really get into. The solo was pretty good, although I did not like the bullshit like talking and joking around at the end of it. So I gave this song a 7, just based on the fact that I think like in concert this song would like move a lot of people to sing with it. What did you think, Nova?
It's got a heavy, catchy rhythm to it. I loved the music. The vocals were they weren't great, but they weren't bad. It would have a much higher rating for me, but it was short. It just stopped.
Under
it was like
2 minutes, right?
Yeah. It felt like it needed to go on for at least another verse.
Never get into Minor Threat.
Yeah. I gave it a 6.5 just because it was too short. If it would have been longer, it probably would have had a higher rating.
All right. Death Clock, go ahead. Wallcrawler, Return
We're
of the
no
Leather
strangers to stage presence. This is definitely one of those songs that you do to get people to like throw fists at each other.
Yeah, like, other than that, yeah, I have to agree with the big brown robot. Yeah, it was very short. Totally short. There you go, copies me again, Toki. I'm not copies you. Stop copies me.
Shut the fuck up. We're not doing this bit. But yeah, that's basically how we do. Because then we bullshit after songs and people like it. But not everybody should be us.
Yeah, like, I didn't like the whole jokey bit after that either. But, I give it a 7.
A 7. All right. 7, and what was 6.5 for Nova?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good score for us. All right. Next song is X's for Eyes. The song is called The Blackening Sunset.
Let's go.
And I just thought that first off, I like the name of their album. Their album was called Absolute Corporeal Besmirchment, which I thought that was pretty fucking good name. First off, their deathcore.
If Jason were here, he would totally use that in a song title.
Their deathcore, which we all know is one of Nova's favorite genres. And I thought the song was a fucking pile driver to start with. Okay, I mean, it wasn't like one of these beautifully composed, like definitely like you had separate parts to it. It was just like a slam you in the gut from beginning to end type thing. And but what the fuck did I? Okay, the one thing I didn't really like about it was the pauses that they kept doing. I didn't like. Those are just weird instances. They would just pause and then go right back into like 100-mile-an-hour, guitar. But anyway, I gave it a 6.0. And what did you think, Nova, Deathcore Master? Go.
Pretty much, I have typical black metal sound. Again, nothing really. The only thing that stood out to me was like in the middle, they changed it up and had a little slower, sludgy part that I actually liked. Other than that, the rest of it didn't really impress me. I gave it a 5.5.
5.5.
Yeah.
Death Clock.
This is one of those bands that tries to be technical's death metal, but falls short because it's deathcore.
that could be like the description.
We had to poke that jab. It had to happen.
That could be like the description underneath deathcore. Like, that would be like the Wikipedia page for it. That could be the description. Go ahead.
But I had to do it. But no, it's very technical for what bits that were technical. It's not the most technical song out there. I thought it was, straight to the gut, pile driver, ready in your face. It's a mosh pit song. It's one of those songs that I'm an avid mosher. And 9 times out of 10, whenever we're talking about shows we go to, it'll usually involve me telling you guys about pit stories. So, yeah, in terms of, from Mosher standpoint, I gave it a 6.5.
6.5. All right, so you got a pretty decent score. I think it averaged out right around 6. All right, our next song is a cover song of a Johnny Cash song.
Yeah.
The song is When the Man Comes Around. And you know what? I'm a metalhead to the fucking core, right? But I like Johnny Cash because, first off, Johnny Cash has very soulful music. You can tell that he actually cares about music, and pills when he does his songs. And as far as country goes, that's like back when country like had soul to it and like people cared about it. And it wasn't like this glossy, overproduced crap that's now out there now. But anyway, the band is called Yigga Digga, which I thought was a pretty amusing band name, and it starts with a Y, so that's why I picked it. And they covered When the Man Comes Around, and let's just say the first thing I wrote down is they were a little bit more drum intensive than Johnny Cash was on his original, because they had a lot of like hardcore drumming on that.
Yeah. By a little, you that's a stretch. Say a little.
Way more energy than the original. The original's kind of like a slow, kind of like almost morose, solemn type song, but they kind of like crank it up a little bit.
There's not much to the original
other than the lyrics. Sure.
Other than him singing, it's very, very little anything in the original.
But I thought it also sounded very southern and thick.
Southern rock reeks of it. Yeah.
So okay, Nova, go ahead. What did you think? Oh, sorry, I gave it a 7.5 because I thought it was pretty good.
Okay. Southern metal vibe. I have a nice take on a non-metal song. I liked it too. I had to kind of make a double take when I was listening to it because, like, wait, is that a Johnny Cash song? So yeah, I gave it a 7.5 too, maybe an 8, but I have 7.5 written down. I enjoyed it overall.
I liked the video too. It was very like black and white and like deep and whatnot, without trying to like overdo it.
Yeah, Grim Reaper and everything. Yep.
Right. Death Clock?
I like Southern metal because, I mean, those of you who know me know that Southern metal is probably the best metal.
Oh, shut up, you. Seriously. Johnny's Cash, he is not metals, but he is musician. And therefore, we have to give him 7.5. Yeah, but in reality, this was a very good metal take on a non-metal song. Very heavy on the percussion. Was not expecting that, to be quite honest. When I first saw that on the list, I was like, wait a minute, it's Johnny Cash. So I was like, wait a minute, okay, we'll give it a shot. But it kind of it gave me it's not very much. It was not a Skynyrd vibe, but more like Cowboys era Pantera vibe.
Yeah, kind of.
And so as a result, that made me feel a bit of the nostalgia for both Johnny Cash and Cowboys era Pantera, and as a result, 7.5.
Yeah. One more thing too I wanted to say is, even though Johnny Cash doesn't technically play metal music, I'm going to make him fucking honorary metalhead because he had that fuck you type attitude.
He was the original Man in Black.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
So, all right. Our next song is a song called Mistress Marjorie from a band called Zeus. And it was, it's stoner rock to start with. Like right off the rip, you can tell that it's stoner rock or stoner metal or grunge or what do they call it? Some people call it doom when it's a little bit more dark. Or sludge, some people call it that. But I call it stoner metal or stoner rock.
I call it stoner.
Yeah, definitely stoner.
And I thought it had a great breakdown. Part of it had a very good groove, which pretty much all stoner rock and stoner metal is going to have, be very groove centered. And when I was actually looking it up on Google, they actually I heard Nova Storm use the term gent, and I just realized that is spelled D-J-E-N-T.
Yes.
From looking that up, and the song reminds me a lot of Black Sabbath Volume 4 type music.
Yeah.
I was gonna say in my notes it had a bit of a COC vibe to it.
No, definitely COC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so that's what I thought. I give it a 7.5. What do you think, Nova?
Yeah, again, stoner rock. The groove was definitely there. I liked it. The vocals were a little hard to hear.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was intentional or just a bad mix.
It's a bad mix.
Yeah. So I gave it a 6.5. Could have been better, but it did have that COC vibe to it. So.
All right, Death Clock.
I like stoner's metals because I can listen to it and then gets high. Yeah, like it's the kind of metal that when you listen to it, you start seeing things. And you don't even know if you've had, your night's dose of PCP yet.
Yeah, it was stoner metal. Go figure.
But I thought it was really groovy. I kind of like stoner metal because this is one of Tony's guilty pleasures. Is sometimes I'll pop in like the old shit, like old stoner music period, like hippie music, like Cream and Kansas and America and CCR,
Alba.
Oh yeah, I love CCR.
Yeah, so ABBA.
I was joking. Come on.
That was Murderface's favorite.
No, but yeah, so
They're from Sweden. They're required to like ABBA.
please. The only things that ABBA's do is ABBA's is nuts.
All right.
That was Horrible's meme reference, and 2M's is horrible. Dicks out for Harambe. But yeah, 7.
A 7. All right. Okay. Now, finally, the moment we've all been waiting for.
Yeah, here we go.
Finally, like this I actually like kind of skewed the picking a little bit, because normally I try when I go through bands alphabetically, and I usually try to pick like unheard of, like obscure bands, like the lesser known type bands. But I just fucking said, you know what? We put up with some shit last week. We deserve Anthrax, so I picked Anthrax.
Yes,
I
we
picked
did.
Anthrax, and then I rolled the D10 and I got caught in a mosh. So there you go. First off, as soon as you hear that first fucking lick of the guitar, that dan chicka dan, you instantly know that it's caught in the mosh, right?
Yeah.
Nice pantomiming
And,
there.
and then as soon as when that bass comes in,
That bass
like,
intro.
yeah, it's just like instantly recognizable guitar riff. Makes me want to get up and hit somebody in the face.
Yes.
I'm going to give this one a 9, because it's fucking Anthrax Caught in Mosh. It's one of their iconic songs from an iconic band, one of the big 4. I fucking love it. 9. Horns up. Fuck yeah. Nova.
Absolutely. I just saw these guys live just a couple weeks ago, and it was my first time catching them live. So I've now seen all 4 of the big 4 live, which is great. Again, and growing up, Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, for most people Slayer, for me it was Sepultura, the big 4. It's just, they're legendary.
They're the 4 horsemen, man.
Absolutely. And this is one of their more well-known songs. You talked about crowd participation.
Yeah, definitely.
Talk about crowd participation in this one. Live, there's just an energy when they play this song live that you cannot describe to people. You have to be there to catch it. And you don't even have to be in the pit to feel the energy. It's the whole place is just the there.
Whole place becomes the pit.
Yeah, it's awesome song.
Say that. Yeah.
Awesome song. 8.5.
8.5. All right. Deathclaw, go.
I gotta speak as Tony on this one, because this might actually be because you got away with 2 stories at a show. I've seen Anthrax live. I've been at the pit at Anthrax live, and Caught in a Mosh was one of the songs I was in the pit for. Probably one of my top 5 pit experiences ever. Period. Bar none. Fuck. Like, it's electric. This song is electric. The band is legendary. And you talking about going in there with some energy. You come out of there like you just, had sex for like 10 hours. Like, it's that
right.
kind of relief.
Wore out, right.
Yeah, like, but it's the good kind of wore out. It's like, like Goose Fraba, kind of just zen after that. And it's just like, takes all that shit away. I loved it. I love the song. I love this band. And definitely a 9. I got to be right there with you. I mean, this everybody knows this band, knows this song, word for word. And the bass licks, God.
What is it?
The bass licks. I love the bass licks.
No, I
was going with the song lyrics. What is it called? Okay, all right.
Yeah,
So your rating was 9?
Yeah.
All right.
Just to clarify, the only reason I'm a little bit lower with my 8.5 is it's not my favorite Anthrax song. I have other Anthrax songs I like a little bit better than this one.
Yeah,
but
me too.
Still, it's outstanding. Yeah.
I like Sodium Pentothal better than that one.
Sodium Pentothal.
All right. Moving on to our final song. It's from a band called Bolt Thrower. And Bolt Thrower is kind of a special band to me because, first off, Bolt Thrower is like heavy metal, but they make a lot of references to Warhammer 40K. And I happen to be
Yes, they do.
avid Warhammer 40K player, and I have been an avid Warhammer 40K player for like 30 years. So
This podcast has a lot of running themes with it. I love it.
yeah, definitely. I'm a big, huge fan of Bolt Thrower. In fact, like one of their albums was like pretty much the cover of their cover was pretty much the cover of Road Trader. Anyway, they were formed in Coventry, England, 1986, which is a fucking amazing year for metal. The song is called "The Kill Chain," and it's off their album "Those Once Loyal." And pretty much the entire song, to me, the lyrics they were talking about. Kind of like the dehumanization of war, where they're taking like war out of the hands of soldiers, like looking each other in the eye and shooting at each other, and putting it more in the hands of like computers and robots, and like kind of making it like hands-off type thing, and like kind of sanitizing war, but people still getting killed is what kind of the vibe that I got overall. Maybe I looked into that a little bit too in depth.
It's an Adeptus Mechanicus song.
It is definitely an Adeptus Mechanicus song, definitely. So anyway, I love Bolt Thrower. I love this song, Kill Chain. I love the whole album, Those Ones Well. So I gave it an 8.5. So there you go. And we're going to go with Nova Storm for your review of The Kill Chain by Bolt Thrower.
Yeah, I have my first note, intro. Hell yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Great. Kind of turn the volume up a little bit.
So rich.
And yeah, the intro is just outstanding, and the music just kicks butt all the way through. Vocals are borderline what I can tolerate. If he would have gone much lower, I don't think I could have handled the vocals. But I just like to actually be able to hear what they're singing. When they get some guys get so low and so guttural, you just can't make out the words unless you have the lyric sheet in front of you. And I don't like that. So he was kind of borderline on that for me. But the music was outstanding. I gave it an 8 just on the music alone.
Oh, nice. All right, Deathclaw, go.
I like this song. I like this band. I like doing shit to this song and this band.
Yeah, like I like, sending in amigos and like termites full of servitors und skitari, and then a field a warhound titan to kill everybody's within a 2-foot radius. No, but seriously, man, this is the Adeptus Mechanicus song. This is a song on my Adeptus Mechanicus list when I'm playing at Adeptus Mechanicus on Dawn of War, for obvious reasons. It has a special place in my heart, so I have to give it an 8.5.
8.5, all right. You can almost listen to that in your Baneblade, right?
Oh,
right.
Yes.
So, all right, so moving on to our final segment, and what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about some show stories and concerts that we've been to. And since we had Anthrax in our lineup, I'm going to go ahead and do a couple of Anthrax stories, and they'll be really quick, so I want to cheat and do two. So anyway, speaking of Cotton and Mosh, right? I was at it wasn't necessarily an Anthrax show, but it was like the Big Four minus Metallica show. Is exactly what it was. It was Anthrax. Yeah. It was Anthrax, and it was Megadeth, and it was Slayer. Right? And Anthrax opened, and it was at the LC here where I live, and they started to play Cotton and Mosh. In about 5 seconds into Cotton and Mosh, I got kicked in the back of the head by somebody crowd surfing, and my glasses came off my face and went down on the ground.
They were gone, man.
Miraculously, I bent down and managed to pick them up. I can't believe that happened. As soon as they came off, I'm like, oh, great. I'm going to be blind for the rest of this fucking show. But I actually picked them up, and it was great. All right, story number 2. It was at another Anthrax show, and this was when they were playing at Rock on the Range. And
we probably have passed each other at Rock on the Range. What year?
I believe this was 2014.
I was at that show.
Yes,
this is that show. Oh my God, that show.
They were on the second stage, and they were over there, and there was this chick, and she was pretty good looking, and she was wearing like they were like Converse All-Stars, but they were like boots. They like went all the way up to her knees, but they looked like Converse All-Stars anyway. But anyway, she was fairly good looking, right? And the whole reason I mentioned her is because she was standing in front of me the whole time, and the entire time she was bouncing up and down, she was stepping on my feet.
Oh.
Like the entire time. But I excused it because she was also rubbing her butt against my groin the entire time.
Oh, that's cool.
So, but then like I saw her later. She went in the mosh pit, and she got out of the mosh pit, and I saw her, and she's got this like weird look on her face, and then she just like puked over 4 people in front of her. Yeah. So there you go. That's my guess is she was on a couple.
She's wearing those knee-high docks, and she had a black sleeveless tank on. It was a fucking it was a Slayer shirt.
Yeah, you know what? I think it was a Slayer shirt, to be honest.
It was. That bitch puked on me. Oh my God, you're kidding me right now.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, I'm trying to think of what shirt it was. I know it was a tank top. I don't know if it was, but yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we probably did get pretty close to one another.
Holy shit.
Small world, eh? Right? All right. So
we're gonna have to link up next Rock on the Range.
Definitely. You know what? The last one they had Red Hot Chili Peppers on, which I wasn't really a big fan of that. But
yeah.
Anyway, No Storm concert story. Go.
Okay. I'm going to, I guess, rehash my original first story from the original broadcast that never got broadcast. So.
Oh yeah.
Because fits both mosh pits and Typo Negative. I went to a concert which featured the following lineup: Sepultura, which this was before Max left the band, so it was still, Sepultura.
So I was gonna say, so it's still Sepultura.
Yeah. Typo Negative and Ozzy Osbourne.
So
amazing concert. And we had some friends with us, one of which was an exotic dancer, and or at the time she was. And she had glitter was part of her wardrobe. She would, use glitter to accent hair and whatnot. So anyway, so we're all in the pit, and Sepultura comes on. And when you're in anywhere near the pit for Sepultura, you just kind of go where the crowd goes.
Yes.
So we weren't actually in the pit. We were like maybe three rows of people from the stage. So the pit was like right behind us. But again, when bodies start moving, you're on the left side of the stage, then you're on the right side of the stage, and then
you will be assimilated.
You're forward, you're backwards. It just varied. And I had a camera. I was trying to take pictures. At one point, I just completely gave up because I didn't want to lose my camera. And then at some point during it, our friend, she sneezed, and when she sneezed, literally a cloud of glitter just went poof all around us, and everyone in the immediate vicinity was like covered in glitter. So it was hilarious to see. Oh yeah, you were in the pit with me.
I'd rather be covered in glitter than covered in, I don't know, puke.
Yeah,
this is true. And
have firecrackers thrown at me.
Of course, with glitter, like 2 weeks later, you're still finding it.
Oh yeah, that glitter definitely has that. It's like impossible to get totally off of you.
Yeah, and then in the same show, when Typo Negative came on, apparently Phil was in the area, Phil from Pantera, and he stepped up and came on stage with Typo Negative to sing "Kill All the White People."
See, that is awesome.
Yes.
Awesome, absolutely awesome. So just amazing show, and it fits everything we've talked about. So there you go.
All right, Tony.
Choices, so many choices. I was talking with Nova after last week's podcast about my Slayer bit. Like, they did 2 Walls of Death, not just one. And I'll go ahead and I'll explain that one. And basically, they started playing. South to Heaven.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
And the Wall of Death started to form. And I don't know what happened, but when I was like in the front of the line for the first mash. So I got the brunt force of the first smash, and then somehow I ended up being in like the last part of the second wave. And by the time that both had resolved, I was like 20 feet closer to the stage. So I wasn't bitching. Like, I got closer to the stage. I lost the people I was with, but when they started saying, "Oh, we're going to do the Wall of Death, we're going to do the Wall of Death," I'm like, "Oh, well, fuck you guys. I'm out of here." And it took me 6 hours to find them after the show. Like, I looked everywhere. I was so lost and disoriented and shit. Because that's like post-concert, where the fuck am I vibes. I was drunk.
Yeah. Look for the people in the black shirt and blue jeans.
Right.
Oh yeah. Look for people with patches on their vests.
Yeah, right.
Look for people
long-haired guys and chicks in fishnet stockings.
But
It was a great show. It was one of my favorite moshes ever. Doing not one but two walls of death at once was great. And it was at the Slayer show 3 years ago. It wasn't Rock on the Range. It was this little show on Legend Valley. It was called
Legend Valley. Do you live near me?
Huh?
You live near me?
I live like 5 hours below you.
Because Legend Valley, isn't that in like Lancaster Heath type area?
Yeah, Lancaster. Yeah, but I'm in Kentucky.
Ah.
I'm in central Kentucky.
Oh, all right.
But I can get to Legend Valley in 3 hours.
Sorry to hear about living in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And I'm from Ohio.
Ohio's not that much better, but whatever.
Definitely not. All right, well, I think that covers everything we wanted to talk about. I appreciate, hey, we had fucking 4 viewers this time, which that's like a new record.
Yeah. By the way, fuck you guys, but we love you.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for listening. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off Metal Forever.
Horns up, motherfucker!
Horns up, motherfuckers. And Nova, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Tony?
Yeah, totally. It's be back next week with more peoples.
Hey, just one note about next week. Nova Storm's gonna pick the list. So if it sucks, it's on them. All right, that's it. Hey, everybody, see you later.